Welcome back to the Stick 'em Up podcast. Brundi, what are we? Most teams are about 12, 13, 14 games into the season now. It's been a lot of fun with the season finally ramping back in. Everyone is fully back invested in the NHL for a couple of weeks there, a week and a half. A lot of people were more focused on the World Series, which did not go as we would like, but it was fun to watch nonetheless. And now everybody is very fully back into the hockey. So with that, we should probably get to some NHL news. Where do you want to start with?
Well, before we dive in the NHL, obviously the Blue Jays unfortunately lose in Game 7. Another heartbreak for Canada. Obviously, as Toronto is the only Canadian team, and the entire country is kind of behind them. A lot of new baseball fans were kind of made throughout this, and the biggest takeaway you can kind of take from it is Toronto fans won't love to hear it, but once again, I mean, Toronto in a Game 7 up 3-0 and finding a way to lose. That's something Toronto fans have heard before, experienced.
I think that's easy to say, but I don't think that's the case with the Blue Jays. They didn't. It wasn't.
They were up 3-0 and lost. The Leafs were up in Game 7 against Boston, 3-0, then they lost.
Sure, but 3-0 is very different in hockey compared to baseball.
Well, in
an instant you can get 4 points.
Yeah, but it's still the narrative. Now this is kind of the new thing for Toronto fans.
They were also supposed to get swept in that series. Like, everyone was saying congrats to the Blue Jays when they beat the Mariners on getting the honor of getting swept. And they took it to Game 7. Like, it was they were heavily the underdog.
They were the underdog, but I was never on the belief that they were going to get swept, because on paper, the Dodgers much better team, obviously because they have way more money being spent alone just in wasn't the overall series, but I think it was just in Game 7 alone. The total money spent across the pitchers that the Dodgers used was over $1 billion. So that kind of explains it. It's mostly the pitching that is what favored the Dodgers, because they could spend way more. They had way more money to spend on the pitchers. But I was just kind of saying, Toronto fans always talk about, like, it was 3-0, and now it's now they're kind of saying it again, just about a different team. But unfortunately, Blue Jays lost. But now everybody's kind of back into hockey. I know the NBA started up, but I don't pay much attention to the NBA at all. If you're a basketball fan, nothing wrong with that. Just not something we pay as much attention to. But
maybe when the playoffs come around a bit. But
I do a bit for the playoffs.
I'm not watching Game 20 of the NBA season, no offense.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure there's plenty of NBA fans who say the same thing about hockey, if they even talk about it. So
but with that, we can jump into everything going on around in the NHL. We got a little bit of news here. We have one signing. We got something to do at the end to wrap it up. Where do you want to kick it off here?
We might as well start with the 3 stars of the week that we have on here. Those 3 being the first star of the week, Lukas Dostal, goaltender for the Anaheim Ducks. Number 2, Drake Batherson.
We'll say that this is the NHL's 3 stars of the week. Like, this is
sorry,
our own.
Yeah, these are their official ones. Number 2 being Drake Batherson of the Ottawa Senators, and number 3, Philip Kurashev on the Chicago Blackhawks.
No,
I think.
No, he's on San Jose.
Okay. I almost said I think he's on Chicago, and then I was like, I'm gonna full send it because I was fairly sure. No, he's on the he's on that, like, incredible second line, right? That you were talking about the other day?
Yeah. Lukas Dostal, obviously, like you said, first star of the week. 3-0 over the last week, a 1.63 goals against, and a 948 save percentage. It's pretty damn good week for Dostal. That'll get you first star honors. Drake Batherson, 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points in 4 games played. And then Philip Kurashev, the third star of the week, 4 goals, including an overtime winner, 3 assists for 7 points in 4 games. I'm going to be honest. I don't think Drake Batherson should be on here at the end of the day. I don't think he. I don't. I think after that was that not his turnover in overtime against the Canadians?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that was. I bet if I just look up Batherson, it might be like the first thing to come up.
Okay, I was curious what your reason was because I was like, goals, 8
it
points.
was Batherson. It was
pretty
Batherson.
Good.
So I do remember Dylan Cousins was trending after that game, but I couldn't quite remember why. So I couldn't remember if it was him. But yeah, it was Batherson on that brutal turnover to Newhook for Newhook to just get a free breakaway from center ice and score. I mean, it's a good week, but I looked up Batherson's name and it's second star of the weekend, and everything else after that is just all about the pretty rough turnover. It was
a lot of the time they do. A lot of the time they do try and get guys like your Bathersons, your Kurashevs in there. Like they want other people because it's not quite as fun if it's okay. First star of the week is Nathan McKinnon. Second is McDavid. Third is Shesterkin again. It's just like constantly being these elite level players. And they give it to them plenty, but they like to shake it up with weeks like this where they can put other names in there.
But, guys who were racking up a lot of points. Absolutely. And again, I got nothing wrong with Batherson being on there, but if I was
2 points per game with 3 goals,
I wouldn't include him because that was one of the worst turnovers I've seen in quite a while.
You clearly aren't watching many Edmonton Oilers games then. But
no, I've seen quite a bit. This one's right up there. But I mean, nothing more to be said on that. The NHL's 3 star of the weeks again. They're not our own. It is nice though to see, like you kind of mentioned, some of these other guys getting credit where normally it would be the traditional, best players in the league type of thing.
Yeah.
Right. So it is nice that we are getting something a little bit different.
Yeah. Because I don't have them in front of me, but I'm sure if you looked at, who are some of the hottest guys in the league right now, I'm sure you could easily make a case for it to be like Makar, McKinnon, and Jack Eichel as the 3 stars. But that's not as fun as people are gonna be like, okay, Philip Kurashev, that's interesting.
Kind of surprised we didn't get a Kiefer Sherwood on there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Kiefer Sherwood had a pretty up to 9 goals on the season, 9 goals and 0 assists through 13 games. I guess I don't know, was that included in last week? The 20. Oh, so it just came just outside the week. Okay. So he only had the hat trick actually. I thought his 2-goal game would count in there. But that would technically be the previous week.
Right.
Because NHL does Monday to Sunday for it, not a Sunday to Saturday.
I'm trying to find it. There it is. Because I knew somebody had put it online earlier. So taking obviously his stats and then how many games he's played into account, at the moment, Kiefer Sherwood is on pace for a 57 goal, 0 assist season and being a minus 32.
Wow. That's the thing though, right? Like early on in this year, there's already a lot of pretty interesting stat lines and whatnot, some of which we'll actually kind of get into, but those are more team-based that we'll get into. But yeah, I mean, with a bunch of these players, there's a lot of interesting starts. And yeah, when you kind of do those projections, like what's Corey Perry? He's on pace for, if he maintained it all year for a 50 goal year.
Probably 50, 60 goals. Yeah. You think he's got
70 points. It's
4 goals in 5 games or something. Something like that.
Yeah, he's been off to a really good start with the LA Kings, as weird as that is to say.
Yeah.
But we can move on from the 3 stars.
We can move on. One other thing that I did want to mention at some point here is I just kind of want your opinion on who do you think are some of the current front runners for the Selke Trophy? Um, Something we kind of wanted to keep up on throughout the season, just because for so long it's been dominated by the same guys, and we're in Kopitar's final season. Bergeron obviously retired for a couple of years now. Barkov's going to be out for the whole year. Like it's a very incestuous trophy in the way that it's the same guys often winning it, and a lot of those big players in it are either not looking to win it or not eligible right now. So we're probably getting a first time winner, or a very good chance of it at least this year. Who do you think are some of the current front runners now that we're 15% of the way through the season?
Mm, Just gonna pull this up here quickly. So if I had to do some front runners, I'm just looking at, because obviously they do take into account the
Yeah.
scoring factor of it. You're probably, I mean, Kopitar's going to be in there regardless. He's not up to the greatest offensive start to the season, but in his final year, people are still going to be focusing on him if he's going to win it one last time before he goes out. So he's going to be talked in. I don't know if he'll be a finalist or how many votes, but he'll always be in the conversation throughout the year. Other players, I mean, the way Sidney Crosby's been going, I think he's getting a lot of attention surrounding it. I think Nick Suzuki, he's already up to 18 points on the season. Celebrini's already at 18 points. Jack Eichel at 19. I think those are kind of your four that are kind of getting the most attention, it seems, for the Selke. And I think all of those make a tremendous amount of sense given, how good they've kind of been in both ends of the ice to start the season. So I kind of say that's my top four.
Okay.
It's kind of easy to go just based off they've all got a bunch of points, but
that's the thing. It's hard to tell when a guy's maintaining that good defensive play, because there are guys like Nico Hischier who's so consistently been a two-way force throughout his career that you just look at points basically at this point, unless there's a big narrative going around that he's worse or better defensively year to year. You kind of can just make the assumption based on previous years. But there's some guys like, the Dreisaitl's, the Jack Eichels, where it's like, sometimes they're good defensively, but sometimes they really don't seem to care. And it's like, he's clearly got the points. Like those points can win a Selke. Did he keep up on his defensive responsibilities? So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, it's very early in the season. It's hard to have too much of a narrative built up when you're only 15% ish of the way through the year. But yeah.
Well, and I just went and looked up the odds here for the Selke, and all four guys that I mentioned aren't the top four here.
Really?
So that kind of,
I would have expected Suzuki at least.
No, he is fifth.
Okay, well at least he's close
in Selke odds.
Nico Hischier up there.
Crosby's way down there. Nico Hischier, he's still the current favorite at plus 200.
Sam Reinhart
second, plus 375. Cirelli's third, plus 650.
Who else would be? Eric Sinek,
he's tied with Celebrini at plus 5,000. And that's, what is that, about 5, 6, 7, 8. Tied for ninth with Kopitar and Markstrom. Those other guys are plus 5,000.
Really? Huh.
Edmonton.
It is Draisaitl?
It is Draisaitl. He's fourth at plus 750. And then Suzuki plus 900. Eichel plus 1,200. Marner plus 2,200. Matthews plus 3,000. And then all those guys that I mentioned at plus.
Probably a lot of them at 5,000, yeah.
What a crew this is at plus 6,000. Shane Pinto, Seth Jarvis, Jordan Stahl, Brandon Hagel, Sebastian Aho.
Huh. That's interesting because a lot of those are elite guys, but they're not, they're either very good defensively or they're elite, but not really known for their defense as much. Like, yeah, Shane Pinto being in there is kind of goofy too, but he's had an incredible start to the year, so it's kind of fair.
Philip Deneau plus 7,500. I don't know how you feel about that one, but I feel like you've got a pretty strong stance about that.
I mean, 7,500. I mean, that's at least you have good odds if you're only putting in like $1. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's kind of the thing, though, right? With the Selke is, it's kind of one of those awards that it's usually always kind of the same guys in the conversation because it's kind of
yeah.
just easy to go with guys who have been good, in previous years, right? And I
Until
mean,
there's
because
more
like
of a
Eichel Suzuki
yeah,
should be probably two of the top three, and
yeah.
they're not even in there. Like they're both outside the top four.
Uh, I think that'll change at some point when there is there's all these advanced stats, but they're not
Mhm.
listed in most places. If you go on the Score, Sportsnet, TSN, wherever you're looking at your stats, they're showing you games played, goals, assists, points.
Yeah,
Plus minus is often on there, but everyone knows that's very hit or miss. That's not a great
yeah,
metric for it a lot of the
Mhm.
time. So at some point, someday, I do think they will figure out some consistent and good defensive metric. And
yeah,
when that starts being included in those common stats, maybe replacing plus minus, then I think you'll start seeing now it's much easier for people at a glance or people playing fantasy hockey to be like, "Oh, okay, that guy's clearly having a very good defensive season." Like, you know,
Mhm.
you can actually have something tangible to look at to back it up versus the vibes were good. I think he's better defensively.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's an interesting one. Obviously, with all these, the odds are kind of going to be changing all
Oh yeah.
throughout the year. But that was kind of I didn't know you were planning on talking about the Selkie, so I was curious
Yeah,
because I didn't look at the odds for it for quite a bit here. So
yeah, I just saw Philip Kurashev on there. I thought we should probably talk about the Selkie before I put my bet down. So, but
it's a
we
good
can
point.
move
Yeah.
on from that. Who's Kurashev play with on that second line, by the way?
It was Wenberg and Eklund's out injured now.
Ah,
Um, so lines were kind of in a blender. Sharks have a lot of injuries. Yesterday they went with 7 defensemen
mm,
and 11 forwards. But speaking of 7 defensemen or a defenseman on the San Jose Sharks, Sam Dickinson and Zane Parekh of the Calgary Flames both played in their 10th game of the season yesterday. Sam Dickinson actually scoring his first NHL goal as well in that game. And
nice.
that means that they've officially burned a year off their ELCs now. You can go up to 9 games, but once you play more than that, once you hit that 10, a year is burned. They are eligible to be sent back to juniors at any point, but they're obviously not going to now that they have played that because you're not going to waste a year of their ELC to then
Yeah,
send them back. So it's looking like these two of the better up and coming young blue liners in the league are going to be around for this year.
yeah, and I think that's a good thing, especially for the Flames in this scenario because there's been a lot of people saying Zane Prek he's not looking great defensively, especially it's looking rough out there for him, but I mean, he's a young offensive defenseman. Like those defensive lapses are going to happen. That's just how it is. And
Yeah, one
he's
especially on
not
a
he's
team like Calgary as well
yeah.
is
He
also,
he
and
has to
same with
improve in the
Dickinson.
NHL. He's not going to be able
Mhm.
to improve farming the hell out of the WHL or the OHL or wherever
Well,
he'd end up.
and that's the thing, right? Like last year was both of their draft years plus one, so their first season after being drafted, and they were the two best defensemen in the OHL. You could
Yeah.
argue the two best defensemen across the entire CHL between all three, of the Canadian leagues. So
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. It does them more good to only play 40 games in the NHL this year and you know have some ups and downs as opposed to going back to juniors and just dominating.
Yeah.
Because again, it kind of goes back to what I said before. If they both go back, they're more likely to just develop bad habits.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to develop bad habits when you are the best player every time you step onto the ice and, you dominate the game. You think you can get away with a lot. And when you get to the NHL or even only the AHL, it doesn't translate as well. So I'm right there with you. I think it's really good for both players. Obviously, they were both held out of the lineup for a little bit, as you could kind of tell. Both teams, like the Sharks and Flames, were kind of debating on, do we pull the trigger and put them in that 10th game and burn it, or do we send them down? And obviously, they both made the decision to allow them to play the full year.
Yeah.
But I think this is a case where we could still see both of them be loaned to Canada for the World Juniors, because both players are eligible to play for Team Canada at the World Juniors.
I think there's a good chance that happens.
I wouldn't be shocked if both of them are like, hey, you know what? You're only going to miss a few NHL games, and especially with teams like Calgary and San Jose, because let's be real, they're not going to be, going for the playoffs or anything.
Yeah.
They're going to be selling. Both teams have a good amount of defensemen too. Like Calgary's, like they've got 7 or 8 guys. San Jose's like up to, I think, 9 on their active roster right now. Yeah. So it also gives those teams a chance to just play the other guys and then kind of figure out who you're going to be keeping, who you're going to be moving. And then you allow these guys to go and, play in the World Juniors, have some fun, maybe get some confidence, and come back feeling better about themselves, about their games. So
they usually do the World Juniors over the kind of the Christmas break a little bit too, right?
Well, so, I mean, yeah, it starts on Boxing Day and goes till, I think, like, January 3rd or 4th or something.
Oh, okay.
So they'd only, they'd only be missing 3, maybe 4 NHL games.
Yeah, so they're making up that time in those games. It's not the same competition, but yeah, I think that'd still be fine for them. And another big thing about keeping these guys in the NHL versus sending them back to juniors is they have access to all of your facilities. You can use all the San Jose Sharks workout rooms, all the trainers, the nutritionists, like everything, versus, going and playing for the Windsor Spitfires. Like, even if you're
Sam Dickinson would be fine either way, because he would just go to the London Knights.
I was going to say,
I mean, that's just one of the best run organizations in the history of sports.
It is, but even the London Knights probably still don't have the same level as the San Jose Sharks.
No, but it would still be a pretty good stuff to be going to. But obviously, like it's not as good.
He's not going to find Jumbo Joe Thornton just wandering around their arena in London.
That is true. You'd
be missing out on that.
It is also worth noting that the past few games, the Sharks have scratched Michael Misa, 2nd overall pick. It's,
have they burned a year of his?
No. I think he's only played like 6 games. I'm just going to leave it at, I'm just going to say 6. Yeah, he's been held out of the lineup, and especially after yesterday, because they did go, 7 defensemen and 11 forwards, and, he was healthy. They just made him a healthy scratch. So that's something to maybe keep an eye on. I think what he's going to be doing this year is still a little bit up in the air.
It's kind of a similar situation with him too. Like he doesn't quite look ready for the NHL, but man,
the last few games,
but he dominated the OHL.
Yeah,
as well.
It doesn't do him any good to send him back.
Yeah,
it's one of those things of just you let him go through the ups and downs, and
sometimes you don't have the best
league they dominated in. There's no point sending them back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good news for Flames and Sharks fans. Obviously, is the young up and coming blue liners in the league get to stick around for the full year and show what they got. Another, I don't even know what I'm going to say, up and coming blue liner, just an already established defenseman in the league, but he is a rookie, and that is Matthew Schaefer. Became the youngest defenseman in NHL history to have a multi-goal game That was a 59-year-old record held by none other than Bobby Orr.
It's been a long time.
Pretty impressive.
It's been a long time since we saw such an impressive record that doesn't have all these extra qualifiers that stood for that long be broken.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, we're seeing a lot of these ones where it's, not since Gretzky have we seen this happen in this specific month of the year for guys between this and this age, for guys who are center but play right wing sometimes. Like it's got all these extra things, and then this one's pretty straightforward. He's the youngest defenseman to have a multi-goal game, and he did it younger than Bobby Orr. That should mean something. We've seen some good young defensemen since Bobby Orr. Approximately like pretty much all of the good defensemen we'd be able to name. So it bodes well. And at least one of those goals came in the last like 2 minutes, like when they needed to clutch up to beat the Blue Jackets too. So kind of a bit of a clutch factor in that goal as well. Like he got on net and he scored when they needed it, and they ended up winning the game because of it.
Yeah, and it's pretty remarkable. Again, we're talking about guys like Parekh and Dickinson, who are two of the best, and they're kind of in and out of the lineup. They took here. It's not very often you see a defenseman, immediately play in the NHL from when they were drafted, right?
Yeah.
Even Cale Makar, he didn't immediately jump into the NHL. He took another year of development. So, not only do you have to be a good enough player to score 2 goals in a game, you got to be good enough that you make the NHL right when you're drafted. Because again, it's a lot easier for forwards to do that. Goalies, that just doesn't happen. And for defensemen, it's very tough to do. You got to be a pretty damn good player to immediately jump into the NHL from being drafted. And especially for a guy like Schaefer, who, in Canada, he wasn't the legal drinking age until September, like 2 months ago, month and a half ago. And, so this is a record that might, I'm not going to say it'll never be broken, but it's potential. It very well could be more than the 59 years that Bobby Orr held this for. Because now you got to define a defenseman. Because what's Schaefer's birthday here?
Schaefer. How do you spell Schaefer? Birthday September 5th, 2007.
September 5th. Christ. And so I believe it works with the draft. Is you need to be before, I think it's like September 13th or something.
Yep.
Something like that. So basically you got to find a defenseman that is good enough to be a top, probably like 10 pick in the draft. Be born either just a bit before Schaefer and like do this immediately in one of your first couple games, or be born in that 8 or 9 day window after Schaefer and, do it in your first 10 games.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be a tough record to beat. So that's why there's obviously a chance that it could, but very unlikely anytime soon.
Yeah, like, all these guys that have come through and been incredible, Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, Nick Lidstrom, Hedman, Erik Karlsson, none of them did it. Like, there's a reason it hasn't happened since Bobby Orr. Like, all of these Hall of Famers, your Scott Niedermayers and your Paul Coffeys, like, So, obviously,
not an easy thing to do.
It's hard not to be impressed with this kid.
Still the current favorite for the Calder too. It's still holding that title.
It doesn't look particularly close at the moment either. I think he's playing so well, but also has so much hype behind him that I think people want him to win as well, which does matter a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are really rooting for him to take it this year.
Yeah. Is the what is it? Jacob Dobes?
Yeah,
Dobes?
Jake, yeah. We've got
Is
him
he a
on the
rookie?
list here. Yeah, yeah, he is. He's third in calder odds right now. Still a
Okay.
little bit back. Schaefer at plus 120. Uh, Ivan Demidov plus 190, and then Jacob Dobes plus 900. So quite a bit back from the top two, but I mean he's already found his way into the top three here, and the title I put in here for him is he is he this season's Dustin Wolf?
I mean, it's certainly looking like it at the moment.
6-0 to start the season.
Playing some
Very
very
well
good.
could take over the starting job in Montreal.
Yeah, I mean, who's their starter right now? Like, if everyone's healthy,
But
who's their starting goalie?
they're kind of rotating him and Montembeault.
Like, yeah, Montembeault. Like,
It's
Montembeault's
kind of been
been
a
good,
tandem.
but
Yeah,
Montembeault's
they
been
both
good, but
played 6 games.
he's not really guaranteed to be their starter if somebody else comes in and starts playing well.
Well, and Montembeault's had a pretty rough start to the year as well.
Yeah.
Whereas Dobes, I mean, he's the exact opposite. He's been fantastic. Dobes has mentioned 6-0. Allowed. He's got a 1.97 goals against and a 930 save percentage in his 6 games this season. Whereas Montembeault, 3-3, a 3.67 goals against and an 8.39 save percentage.
839. Yikes.
And again, this is a complete tandem. Like they've played an even 6-6, which is very similar to Wolf and Vladar last year. They were going back and forth, and eventually Wolf just was playing so good that he made it undeniable. Like he's the starter, and he took that. And there's a chance that Dobes could take that.
Yeah,
If
he definitely
can
could
maintain it, or even if he falls back a bit, if he keeps it going, I mean he could play 50 games or so for the Canadiens this year, and he could be a Calder finalist.
Yeah, they they would love to try and find their next Carey Price if they could. So
Yeah.
he's got a huge opportunity in front of him. Another guy who's been playing really well that you just mentioned, Dan Vladar.
Yeah.
He has a 924 save percentage on the year. 7 games, 4 wins, 3 losses. So not quite getting, he's over 500, not quite getting as many wins as you'd like when he's putting up a 924 on Philadelphia, but
But you can at least say that it's not on him though.
absolutely
So
no.
you can make the argument every game he's playing, the Flyers have a very good chance to win.
Yeah.
But they're just not quite getting it done. But we'll get more into Philly in a bit. Is there one of the teams we're going to kind of be chatting about? But before that, let's talk about the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah.
For a little bit. We got 2 things with the Jets. The first one being obviously that Adam Lowry is back from injury and will play his first game tomorrow against the LA Kings. I think that's a huge piece to get back for them. Yeah.
He's probably going to be on the third line still, right?
I would imagine so. That's what I'm kind of assuming, because it's still Taves in that second line spot, I'm pretty sure. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so they probably have Nemesnikov on the third line center, I would imagine.
They got him listed as a third line center. They got Nemesnikov up on that second line now. Someone's missing.
Oh,
Perfetti. That's right. Perfetti's still out.
Right.
And he's going to be out for a bit longer, I think.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
So yeah, Adam Lowry can slot right into that, and that's kind of his spot where he fits, is like
kind of like
that
Jordan
third line
Staal
center, that
Michael
top penalty
Backlund style.
kill, and third line center, and more than anything, kind of getting your captain back, the leader of that locker room, and a guy that's not afraid to mix it up and get physical and drop the gloves when need be. Like he's kind of a guy that does it also.
Yeah,
very nice for Winnipeg to get him back.
You also
they're
have for
9
the
and 3.
Winnipeg Jets.
They're 9 and 3 and getting them back.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting a guy back when you're already doing well is always huge, especially when it's your captain. And further on the Jets, we also have the Kyle Connor penalty shot on here. I know you put that in there, so I do want to hear what you think about this. Because
Yeah.
when I saw
So
it for the first time the other day, I had a very immediate reaction, and I'm very curious to see if you put it on here for the same reason.
I'd be shocked if we don't have the same reaction. First thing I'll say, incredible penalty shot, like incredible goal that he scored on the penalty shot.
Hands are nasty.
But why did he get a penalty shot? It should have been an automatic goal.
Okay, yeah. We had the exact same thing when we watched it. Okay, good.
He was all alone, a foot away from an empty net with the puck, and Silovs throws his stick and knocks the puck away. If you have a breakaway when the other team has their goalie pulled at the end of the game and you get tripped, it's an automatic goal, even if you're at the blue line.
Yeah.
But
Tampa got an awarded goal last season for that exact rule.
Yeah, but if you're a foot away from the empty net because the goalie was out of position and he throws his stick, you only get a penalty shot. You don't get it. It's just that, like, it's so weird that that's not just an automatic goal.
Yeah. I'm so glad you put this on here for that reason, because that was exactly my reaction when I saw the highlight the other day. And do you think they made it a penalty shot because it's different when the goalie throws his stick versus a player? Or do you think they deemed him not to have, he was like contested with an open net versus like on a breakaway with an open net?
See, that's the thing.
Like it feels like it has to be one of those, but they're both bad calls.
Yeah, like I don't know the reasoning behind it, because I watched the replay a few times to be like, okay, could the defenseman make a move to get it? And I kind of looked at every factor, and no, I mean the defenseman was kind of creeping in, but even still,
he was pretty close.
The stick isn't thrown.
Connor's
like Kyle Connor was
from
right
the goal
there.
line. He's right there.
Yeah, like when the stick came in to knock the puck away, he was like just ready to just slide it in there.
I think he was in the crease by that point. Like he wasn't even at the side of the net anymore.
So, could you make the argument the defenseman could have? Yeah. Do I believe even 1% the defenseman was going to make a play to get the puck away? No. Because you give it an extra 1 second or 0.1 of a second, and he's just sliding that into an empty net.
Yeah.
So that was, I'm glad he scored, first of all.
Yeah.
Because that would have sucked if he didn't, and then just completely gets robbed. But yeah, I feel like that's something they got to change. Like,
yeah.
And it's also,
I don't know if they just called it wrong, or if there's something badly written into the rules that gives goalies an exemption, because generally goalies aren't throwing their stick to block an empty net. Usually they're in the net.
The fly attacking me. It's
and luckily like everything went according to plan. Otherwise, like, he scored that goal, they were already up in the game, it was a strong team holding on to the lead, so they're fine. But like, if you're in a close game, you're in a 3-3 game with 5 minutes left in the third and that happens, that should be an awarded goal. Like, what if that happens, you call the penalty shot and he doesn't score and the other team ends up winning it? Like, that's fraudulent, man.
What's to stop when you get like say it's a tie game, 3 minutes left, mad scramble in front of the net, pucks loose. What's to stop the defending team from all at once just being like, let's just all throw our sticks and create chaos? Like, they probably don't score. I mean, they do get a penalty shot, but if you're pretty sure they're going to score, just throw your stick.
Most coaches around the league are on record saying that they would prefer a power play to a penalty shot. Like, you get way more looks. Like,
I think it depends on, for me, the situation. Because if it's one of like the defenseman closes their hand on the puck, it's like you can pick someone. That's a little bit of a different story, especially if you got a guy, like a Franz Nielsen back in the day,
a TJ Oshie, a Patty Kane.
Yeah, like a guy that is kind of just automatic when it comes to, or pretty much automatic, because like no one's scoring.
Automatic automatic in the
pretty
NHL
much.
means like about 50% to the shootout, realistically, because it's hard to score one-on-one with only one attempt.
So I think it would kind of depend on that. But yeah, I was just kind of blown away when I saw that.
Yeah,
because I saw Kyle Connor got a penalty shot, and I think it was shorthanded too. Could be wrong. I might be wrong.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, but then I was like, okay, so I looked and I'm like, oh, because what was, I'm gonna pull up here what it said the penalty was on.
Yeah,
it says shorthanded goal penalty shot, so I'm gonna go with it.
It probably was then.
Oh yeah, it was.
Which good for him. I didn't know that Kyle Connor was on the penalty kill.
Silov's minor interference throwing object.
Throwing object.
And then in brackets, penalty shot, 0 minutes.
They're just making shit up, man.
Yeah. Like what? And so I was like, okay, so I had to watch it back because I was like, how did he? But then when I saw him, like,
okay. So to me, that says. So to me, that says it's an automatic goal if it's an empty net and the defenseman throws his stick. It's an auto goal. If it's an empty net and the goalie throws it, you're risking a penalty shot.
It's the same.
If the guy's got an empty net, I'm throwing my stick every time, man.
Yeah. Well, who was it? I want to say a couple years ago, but it's honestly probably much longer. I want to say the Rangers, when it was a 2-0 and the goalie just turned around and just pushed the net off. Just completely just.
I think it was actually. Over. I'm pretty sure it was the Islanders. I think it was Varlamov. I feel like it was Varlamov. And he just turned around and he just decked the net. He like threw it backwards. It hit the boards. Like good body check. He blew it up. But like,
so I think with
and then they got a penalty shot. So now instead of a 2-0, it's a 1-0. He made the right call.
Yeah. So, and with that one, I feel like if it's something like that where it's not as automatic, I wouldn't say like give them a for sure goal. But what probably you could do then, because I remember that was a debate at the time. You could do the goalie, and obviously the goalie doesn't serve it, but a 5-minute major. There's no game misconduct.
I was gonna say, honestly, I would be fine with a double minor for delay of game.
Yeah,
which is a hilarious sentence, but
or a major for delay of game, and obviously again the goalie's not going to serve it. Like a
2-0 penalty shot, a 2-man penalty shot.
You just have to stop a 2-0. Now it's a 4 or 5 minute power play that you got to kill off.
Yeah,
which I would fully be on board for something like that. But again, just very, very glad that Kyle Connor scored, because like he just got so robbed of that goal at first. So I'm glad he made up for it and embarrassed Silovs in the process of doing it.
I wonder how many people would have lost their week in fantasy if he didn't score on that penalty shot. Because that's not only a goal, but a short-handed goal that he would have lost. There's a good chance that would have been it for a lot of people.
Yeah, some big points there.
Where are we at? We're fairly far through our stuff. We haven't gone too long. I wanted to bring something else up since we're on the topic of goalies and rules.
Okay.
I believe, I don't know the specific situation. It's been a week or two at this point, but I want to say it was one of the Toronto goalies. I actually do think it was Stolarz had his helmet fall off during play, and the refs didn't blow the whistle because there was an immediate scoring opportunity. I would just love to know what your thoughts are, what the rules should be for when a goalie's helmet comes off and there's an immediate scoring opportunity. So basically what happened is Silov's helmet came off. I'm pretty sure a shot beforehand. Stolarz, sorry. A shot went off of his helmet. All the time you see this happen in hockey. A buckle gets loosened on their helmet and they kind of shake off their helmet to try and, because you want your equipment to be working. So you shake your head off, you get a whistle, and then you fix your stuff. But the puck went back out in front, and so there was a scoring opportunity, so they didn't blow the whistle, and Silovs had to make another save without a helmet.
Stolarz.
Stole
So
ours.
So first of all, I'll
goalie.
say I didn't watch. I don't even know what you're actually referencing to. I didn't see
Yeah.
this at all. But we have seen stuff like this happen before. You know, what
Exactly.
was it? Aiden Hill a couple weeks ago, the exact same thing,
Yeah.
wasn't it? He lost his helmet, and then a big shot came in, and he's, that's dangerous for goalies. I'm always on the belief that once a goalie's helmet comes off, you blow the whistle.
I completely
Even if
agree.
there's a clear scoring opportunity or not, you blow the whistle immediately. And we're in a day now where these refs have no problem going and reviewing anything that goes on. So even just goalie's helmet comes off, you blow the whistle, and then it's an automatic review. And then you review and you see, okay,
Sure.
because 9 times out of 10, it's a result from a puck hitting them in the mask, and you can clearly see the buckles just snap, and it all go loose on the back, and it's starting to fall off.
Yeah.
And so review it and see, okay, was his helmet loose and it fell off because it was loose, or did he purposely knock it off because they were in a bad scenario? And then because who was it? There was a goalie I remember where his helmet wasn't even loose, but his team was just getting peppered. And I think it was actually a Sharks goalie quite a while ago. And he just basically ripped his helmet off mid-play to get a whistle. And then he got scored on. He got mad, and the ref's like, you ripped your helmet off. We're not going to blow the whistle because you were just tired and wanted a whistle, so you took your helmet off. And then so you could review it, and then kind of same thing. If it's loose and they just kind of shake their head to get it off because it's not safe if the helmet's loose, then you made the right call. But if they purposely take it off, again, kind of what we talked about before, a 2-minute minor for delay of game or whatever.
It's so not the same as like a guy playing with a broken stick or something and it's not even, I can't even think of the easier comparable of like something that would be slightly dangerous. Like this is, dude, these guys shoot so fucking hard and they're shooting purposefully where that guy is standing. His whole job is to be in between the net and the puck. Like it is not at all exaggerating to say you could literally see a goalie die from one of those shots if it hits him in the head.
What's the rule now? If you're a player and you get hit and your helmet falls off, I don't know if it's even you can pick it up and put it back on, or if it's you have to immediately get off the ice. But
but it has to be like basically you can't do anything else before you pick it up. Like you have to go straight to it.
Yeah. So that's why most guys just get straight off the ice, because it's better than putting your helmet back on and doing up the strap and then getting back. So if a player loses their helmet and immediately has to get off the ice, why can a goalie be in the net without a helmet where the puck's actually being purposely shot at him?
Where it's frankly more dangerous.
And it's okay because there's a scoring opportunity.
What goal is worth risking the lives when you're at least the league is feigning caring about these guys' safety? Like if you want, I would be so fine with making it, as soon as a goalie's helmet comes off, if his, treat it like a regular injury. If your team gets the puck, then you can immediately blow it down and get it fixed. If the other team touches the puck, or frankly, almost like a delayed icing, like if the ref can tell they're going to touch it next, they can blow the whistle down and, give the other team a legal equipment penalty, give them a delay of game, whatever you want to call it, but I would so much rather
if the goalie pulls it off. Like if it's already loose and they just shake it off because it's barely hanging on, they can't see because it's falling over, then it's fine. You just face off and you go on. But again, that would definitely be the best way. Then you can give them an illegal equipment, minor penalty or whatever. And
and
I'm just saying, like, that.
It's to the point where even if they penalized innocent goalies who are actually just trying to fix their equipment, I would still rather that than one shot per season be taken on a goalie without a helmet. Like, even if it's not a great way, it would still be better than risking these guys. Like, it's just madness.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to be like, there was a scoring opportunity. My brother in Christ, there's enough of those in a game. Like, we can't be risking goalies taking shots to an unprotected head. That's insane.
Yeah, like you can't have that.
Yeah.
You can't have that. Can't do that. So
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I definitely think it's one of those things where by the time the teams have skated away from the play and they're getting ready for the next faceoff, the ref in the sky, Toronto can call in somebody else. It doesn't even have to be a ref on the ice necessarily. Can easily call in and be like, "Hey, yep, his equipment looked fucked. We saw a buckle fly off on that last shot. Just do a offensive zone faceoff." Or no, it kind of looked like he just wanted a break and shook it off. Throw him a 2-minute minor.
Yeah, and
Easy.
I'm all for that again, because at the end of the day, it helps to keep the goalie safe, and
Yeah,
that's the number one most important thing.
Yeah. I would also say, you know what? Do that same exact rule for if the goalie's blocker or glove comes off. Same thing.
Yeah.
If it's on, blow it down, because I mean that's just dangerous. If it's on purpose, penalty. If not, doesn't matter. You don't need to do it for a stick. The goalie is still safe without a stick. That's just harder to save without it. But
but they're not. Yeah, they're not at more risk of an injury.
They're not like in danger now.
Yeah. Last bit of goalie news before we talk about a couple teams here, and then we start to get into our final segment. Jacob Markstrom, our only signing over the weekend, signing a 2-year, $12 million extension with the New Jersey Devils. So $6 million per year, staying on the same deal he's on now. I don't need to say much about it. I'm fine with it for both sides. Again, it's only 2 years, and they're already saving a good amount of money on Jake Allen. And when you look at the cap going up, so what is that? Still under $8 million between your two goalies for the next 2 years
for a good tandem too. Like, I would.
Like that's fine for New Jersey. Like, it's actually really good.
Yeah, this is a very good signing for the player, because I don't think many other teams would be giving him that much money. At this stage in his career, he hasn't been great this season. I don't, if teams are willing to take the risk on him, I don't think they would be paying him. Probably a lot of them wouldn't pay him this much. But New Jersey knows that he can be that good, and they're saving on their backup, like you said. Like, I think he's kind of he's in the best spot for him in the NHL. They were willing to pay him. It works for their cap structure. I think this is great for the player and the team.
I will say, though, while some teams may not be willing to, pay Markstrom that, say if he was a free agent, this is still a contract that can be moved. If things drastically go south for Markstrom or whatever, and they need to move on from him, this isn't an immovable contract. I think we're actually almost into a point right now with the rising cap where there isn't a contract that's unmovable in the NHL right now. I think in every contract there is a way that it can be moved now. And again, Markstrom, only 2 years, $6 million. There's teams that would take that if there was the right deal in place.
Absolutely.
Which also is kind of nice for New Jersey, because overall we know Markstrom's a good goalie, can be hit and miss sometimes, but some goalies you see when they get up there in age, they can keep it going, where some there's consistency issues. And overall, I think he's still going to be fine, New Jersey, but it is kind of, I said, it is a deal that they can move on from if they have to, if it's not going right for them. Which is important for them.
If they retain half on that, like Edmund, they come up every time we talk about goalies, and they have for 3 years because they keep not getting a guy. Edmonton should be foaming at the mouth to get Markstrom for 2 years at $3 million. Frankly, even if he's sitting at an 870 on the season, I don't know. He's been elite. Make the assumption he'll be back. I don't know. Do something in net, man. He only has to be better than Stuart Skinner.
That's true. But overall, it's.
Do you have a worse contract in the league? Does one stick out to you as the worst right now? Huberdeau's is long and it's expensive, but he's still a pretty good player.
He's still not what he was paid for, but it's still a very rough deal.
Or is it more something like
quite? I mean, Darnell Nurse is always going to be in that conversation for the contracts.
Yeah.
And again,
Okay.
I don't put any of that on him, because if you're
that's the GM's fault.
If you're a top 4 defenseman and you get offered, top 5 in the league at that time, money for a defenseman, like, you're not going to say no. You're going to take that.
I don't know, man. I think I'm worth maybe like 5. Can you lower the number? Like, no.
Yeah, can you just not give me that extra 40 mil you're offering? I'll take less. Like, you're going to take the money.
Yeah. That's how you get
that's the thing,
insanely fired as an agent.
You think of a lot of the ones that were bad a couple years ago.
Like, maybe just the new Tanner Jeannot deal? Like, maybe it's not a massive deal, but it's a guy who's just that far below what he gets paid.
Because
like
I also
a Chandler Stevenson?
Chandler Stevenson could be up there, because I put also into consideration of the teams and where they're at. Like, Boston isn't going to be contending, so who gives a shit? Whereas Edmonton, they're a cup favorite the last couple years, 2 cup finals, and those bad contracts look really bad.
Well, I guess I was thinking worst in a vacuum, even, because I'm thinking, like, is there any deal that couldn't be traded to somebody else?
And that's the thing. I don't even think,
because like Darnell Nurse is bad for Edmonton, but like I do think teams would take that contract.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, right? Because of the rising cap, I think every contract is able to be moved. Yeah. But even you look, 4 years ago, Tyler Seguin's was looking really bad in Dallas. San Jose had a handful of bad deals.
Yeah, like there is.
Yeah, I think the worst contract probably is still Darnell Nurse, and the biggest part is because of how much money he's taking up on an Oilers team that could really use that extra money, even if it was only $4 million, could really use that extra money.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't think there's a contract that can't be moved.
Yeah.
Which I think every contract has a potential to be moved. Obviously, teams might have to pay like a decent bit to move it still.
Might have to retain some, but like even if you're the only team retaining, 50% off of any contract is a lot, Mm-hmm. Maybe it means, maybe it's, Huberdeau 50% retained. Okay, so contending teams probably don't have that space, but maybe it's not to a contending team. Maybe the Islanders want him for the last 4 or 5 years of the deal mm-hmm. at $6 million. Like, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Especially with the cap going up.
I think every contract could still be moved. Is it this year that you can't, there's no like double retention? Is that already in effect?
I don't know if that was on, because they pushed up some of the things to this season, like the LTIR loophole has been closed and all that. I don't know if that got pushed up or if that starts to next season.
I feel like that one's already in effect.
I think it might be.
I
feel like I've heard people say that. Yeah.
Because like it's as of July 1st, like you can't do the 8-year deals anymore. Like it drops down to 7 or 6, respectfully, because I'm not going to say the other way. I'm not going to get clipped by you again for that bullshit. Like I know that's the big one that takes place like in the off season. That's already in effect, because how many guys are we already seeing signing those 8-year deals still while they can? But yeah, I don't even think you can double retain. So if you're moving a guy or going out and getting a guy, it's only one team can retain. But there's so many weird things.
Right before the season started, it was already confusing, and then right before the season started, they moved the deadline up to like mm-hmm. the start of the season for like 30% of the things. So like there was now it's like split up into 2 groups of like some things are in effect now, some are later.
So I'll ask you this, because you might know this one, because we know that there's not going to be the double retentions allowed, but you mentioned Huberdeau. So if you're Calgary, can you make a deal to send Huberdeau to the Islanders? Sure. Can Calgary, can there be like a middle team like a Chicago be the team to retain on Huberdeau and Calgary doesn't? Or is it like if you're trading the guy, you're the only team that can retain?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer for sure, but I'm fairly confident that they could do that.
But it's just only one team.
I'm pretty sure it's just
retain.
only one team is allowed to retain on a player.
That's kind of the way I was thinking of it, because like you just be removing the potential for any almost like any 3-team trades at that point.
So, maybe there's a couple teams in the league that get a little handcuffed by this. I don't think it's going to be a horrendous deal or anything, but the Tomas Hertl deal, he's still got a decent cap hit. Say he really falls off and Vegas wants to move him. San Jose's only retaining like $1 million of it, but it's not based on the percentage anymore. It's only one team can retain. So Hertl is retained. Whoever has the player is paying the rest of that cap hit, no matter where he goes now for the rest of it.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You're right. Yeah, so that would include players that have already been traded and retained on.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say for sure, but I think Hertl might be the only one. Oh, no, and Seth Jones. Those
Jones
might be the only 2 players like on longer-term deals that are being retained on right now.
Erik Karlsson. Erik Karlsson's already being retained on.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Sharks. Fuck, wow, yeah.
So Erik Karlsson's at $10 million.
10.
So
I wonder if they changed that.
I'm wondering if
like
it kicks
now that
in
it's
next
in
year.
Fact,
because I feel like people are still talking like Karlsson will get moved. Unless people just don't know about this.
because
so maybe it kicks in next off season for that rule.
I doubt the Penguins are trading him with how good both Karlsson and the Penguins have looked.
Are they still number 1 in the league?
No, they're like 6 or something now.
Really? Because the other day they were like number 1 on their own.
Like they're only 1 point back of the Avs.
Okay, yeah, Avs are 19, and then we got Jets at 18, Canadians, Red Wings at 18, Devils at 18, Penguins at 18.
Look at Colorado's record.
The Lightning are up to 14. That's 5 wins in a row. We're so back.
Look at Colorado's record.
What? Look at their last 10. 5-1-4. Okay, seriously though, they have McKinnon, Natchez, Makar. How are they losing 5 games in overtime after 13 games played?
Oh, could also be a shootout.
With those guys, that's almost worse losing in a shootout. Like,
it's also worth noting they have 7 regulation wins, which mean any game that has gone past regulation, they've lost. An overtime loss to the Sharks, that's rough. Overtime loss to the Devils, understandable. Shootout loss to the Hurricanes, understandable. Overtime loss to the Mammoth, very understandable. And a shootout loss to the Stars. So 3 overtime losses, 2 shootout losses. The only one that's really bad is the San Jose one. And I mean, that's because they outshot San Jose like by an insane amount. The other ones make sense, but yeah, you should probably be at least 9-1-3.
It is goofy that they've won 7 games. They've won 7 games. They've lost 6, and they're first in the league right now.
Meanwhile, Winnipeg and Montreal both 9-3 in their. Montreal, though, kind of the opposite. They're 9-3, 4 regulation wins, 5 overtime wins.
Well, yeah, because Cole Caulfield scores in every single overtime game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be legitimately the way he plays. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he ended his career as like the all-time OT winner guy. Like,
and there's
he clearly wants it, man. Every time it goes to overtime, he is looking for the net like nobody's business. Like, so many teams, they circle around, they're waiting for the perfect opportunity. He gets in the neutral zone. It's like his line mates are changing. There's 3 guys in front of him. He says, fuck it, I'll go to the outside and try and roof it, and he'll just do it. Like, he's a psycho. Yeah. He's a psychopath in OT.
And there's 2 ways you can look at it for Montreal here, because, look at over the last couple of years, how many teams were there that missed out on the playoffs because they there was too many games that they lost in overtime. And, if they got those couple extra points, they'd be in there. It's good that Montreal's winning those games, but with how close we've seen the playoffs the last 2 years, if there's a tiebreaker, the first tiebreaker is regulation wins. And so if you're Montreal, it's nice that you are winning these overtime games, but you got to start getting wins in regulation, because if you end up in that spot of a tie like we've seen lately, you're going to need those regulation wins. But
Yeah.
I mean, to be starting off the year 9-3 still is, I mean, you can't complain about it. You got to take that and be pumped about that.
Yeah. Man, the Atlantic Division's goofy. Sabres, Panthers, and Leafs all tied to be at the bottom with 13 points. Lightning, Sens, and Bruins all with 14 in the middle, and then 18 and 18 for the Canadiens and the Red Wings. Not how I drew it up.
Yeah, no, it's been a interesting start to the year. We have a couple teams here that we wanted to mention something on. We'll start with the top team here, the Dallas Stars. They're 10th in the league with a 6-3-3 record. Yet they've got a negative goal differential. They're -3. The Philadelphia Flyers are 26th in the league with a record of 6-5-1, but they're +2. A large part of that goes into what we've kind of talked about.
That's crazy. I mean, we're
Vladar.
early in the season, but that's crazy that the difference between those two teams, even without the goal differential thing, that many games into the year, that one is 10th and one is 26th, when, like, what were the records again? They're both, 6-6?
Philly's 6-5-1. Dallas is 6-3-3.
So they're both 6-6. They've both won half of their games. They've just, obviously, the Stars have pushed more to OT and then lost. And one's in 10th and one's in 26th. Like, that's most of the league away. That's 16 spots. That's exactly half of the league away.
Yeah. And then Chicago, 24th in the league with a record of 5-4-3. They have a plus goal differential, +3. And it is worth noting with Philly, because we did say they were 26th in the league, they are tied for second in goals against in the entire league at 31. The only team better than them is, of course, the Winnipeg Jets with 30.
Yeah.
So, Rick Tocchet, I mean, the Flyers aren't getting necessarily the wins, but they're playing pretty solid.
They're playing that defensive game
hockey, and they're getting
Tocchet's known for.
Good goaltending. That's really good signs early on for the Flyers.
And we have not been able to say that recently, that they've been getting good goaltending. It's been a minute. So it's a very different looking Philly team. And frankly, the exact opposite, at least I thought they would be. They bring in Zegras. Michkov's got another year under him. Owen Tippett's got another year under him. They're kind of seasoning, the Konechny's getting better. I thought they would be this young, exciting, fun team to watch that probably gets shelled, but man, are they fun to watch and they can score.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Kind of like the Sharks almost.
They look, yeah, exactly. And nope, they look great defensively. They're getting goaltending, and they can't quite score as much.
And I think that'll come over time, because Konechny has had a pretty, I'm a big Konechny fan, obviously, and he's had a pretty rough start to the year. I mean, it's just overall for the Flyers, like, offense. Like, Zegras is obviously crushing it at over a point per game. Like, but then it's Couturier and Cates
Konechny's
2
got
and 3 on that
8
team.
points. 8 points in 12 games. Yeah,
Michkov 1 goal, 5 assists for 6 points in 12 games.
Yeah, Zegras has looked great there, and I figured he'd be good. I was always of the opinion that as soon as he gets moved out of Anaheim, he'll be given that chance, and he's been running with it, man. Yeah, 4 goals, 9 assists, so he's got 13 and 12. He's already got 18 penalty minutes. Although I guess one of those was a misconduct.
That one 10-minute. Yeah,
he got the misconduct alongside Crosby, which sounds psychotic, but yeah, he's looking like he's found his groove. He's finding his role. So
yeah, it's
good on him. A lot of people really wrote him off after he had people just were so hating that he was overhyped because he was on the cover of an NHL game and then wasn't great, and then injury season. So you love
Mhm.
to see him make
It's
a
been a
make a
Yeah,
comeback.
it's been a terrific start to the year, and he just fits in exactly with kind of what Philly needed, what they're kind of looking for. And again, like already a team that is struggling offensively, but seeing what he's been doing and kind of the main part of that offense, where would they be if they didn't have him?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be very good. So happy for Zegras, happy for Philly. Yeah. Any other teams you wanted to say anything on before we close it up, or get to the final segment? At least not ending it yet.
Um. Yeah. I mean, we definitely do not need to talk about this very long because I don't need to always bring them up. But I do want to say that it's been really fun in the last week and a half watching the Lightning be better. They were horrendous to start the year, frankly.
Yeah.
It was pretty brutal. And uh, we had some guys come back. We sent some guys down to the minors. We kind of brought up some young guys, and the team just instantly looked different. Um, the our I think technically it would be our fourth line, but frankly they might be our third line going forward of Pontus Holmberg, Zemgus Gurgensen, and Yanni Gord. It has looked so damn good every game. They are a forechecking monster. They legitimately look like that Gord, Coleman, Goodrow line in the playoffs. Like they they just look like the most frustrating forechecking line to play against. Our goaltending's got underway. Our defense looking better. Like when not only have we won 5 in a row recently, but like we held the Stars to like 21 shots in an entire game, and then the next day we've held Vegas to 19 shots in an entire game. Like they're playing good hockey, but they're also like
Doing it
shored up
against good
a lot
teams.
defensively against good squads. So
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure they have a brutal road trip coming up. I think they're playing Colorado and then Winnipeg and then Washington or something.
Colorado, Vegas,
Colorado,
and then they're at
Vegas.
home against Washington, the Rangers, and then the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun game. That'll
It'll
be a
be
fun game.
interesting to see how both teams play it, really. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been good to see. And the way they're winning games is very like this is how good teams win games as well. It's been fun to watch.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, and I guess it's worth knowing Brandon Hagel, he finally got a power play goal.
Yeah, I guess he
Potentially
did,
the
didn't he?
potentially the worst. Who
They
was
ha-
it? He was
they had
getting
to
interviewed
review it.
by. I think it was Bissonnette was interviewing him and asked him how the hell he was even still
Yeah.
on the power play, because he went 100 and some games being on the power play and wasn't able to to get one. But he finally did
Yeah.
get one. He's finally on the board with a power
Yeah.
play goal.
They had they had to do a video review to make sure it was in. It was the most anticlimactic first power play goal ever because
Oh
he
yeah.
swiped it in and it like barely crossed the line, and then the defenseman came in and grabbed it and ripped it down the ice. And so
Hmm.
he initially called it a goal, but then also on the ice waved it no goal. And so they had to do a long review, and
They
eventually
had
they
to
were like,
review.
it was in the net.
Yeah.
So it's very goofy, but it did go in, which was good.
Um. Well, I guess with that, we are able to move on into our final segment here. Just gonna make sure I got this all done up pretty for everyone. All right.
Got a little
So
matching game.
yeah. So what I've got here is I've got 5 different players, and I've got 5 different odds for the Hart Trophy at this point in the season. So I'm just gonna
Okay.
give you just the odds first, all 5 of them, and then I'll give you the players, and then you just got to figure out who goes
A non-blind
with
ranking.
what. Yeah,
Sure.
based on where we're at in the season here. So if you're ready for the odds, I can give them to you here. We've got plus
Absolutely.
300,
Okay, so pretty likely.
plus 450,
A little bit less.
plus
300 is probably the favorite, actually.
plus 2500,
Okay, dark horse.
plus 240,
Is
And
that
plus-
200, 240 or okay.
240, yeah. And then plus 1,200. So those are your...
Were all of those
your five
pluses?
odds, yeah.
I was going to say, sure.
Yeah, I
There's
don't
no
think
way
with any
somebody's
of
a
these there will
minus
be
for the
any.
heart. Yeah, that'd be insane.
And the players I've got here that match with these, in no particular order, we've got Jack Hughes, Jack Eichel, Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon, and Cale Makar.
Okay. All right.
All
So
right,
the best odds are 240, right?
Yeah, 240's out of these guys, yeah, it is the...
I am going to put Nathan MacKinnon there.
You're going to put McKinnon at 240?
Yeah.
Okay.
He is, I'm pretty sure, tied for league lead in points. I'm pretty sure he's like a goal per game. I think in 11 games he has like 10 goals. Like, he's insane. And then there was somebody right behind him at 250, right?
It goes from 240 to 300.
300. Okay. I'll put in a Jack Eichel there.
You're going to put Eichel there. Okay.
What were the other three odds? How far away are they?
Plus 450, plus 1,200, and plus 2,500.
That's a pretty big fall off. And the remaining players are Jack Hughes, Connor McDavid, Cale Makar.
Yeah.
Okay. Connor McDavid has to be the third best odds then there. He's Connor McDavid. Like, he hasn't had an insane start, but he's still over a point per game with the assists. And there's just no way the odds makers would be giving people like 11 times their money or more for guessing on McDavid to win MVP. It's too easy.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
And then Jack Hughes or Cale Makar.
Yeah, so you got plus 1,200 and plus 2,500.
So Cale, I want to say Cale Makar would be higher, but he's a defenseman. They don't often give the heart to defensemen, and he's also on a team with the guy that I put at number 1 on the odds. I'm going to put second worst odds, Cale Makar, Jack Hughes, at the bottom with, what was it, 2,500?
Okay. So you think McKinnon is at plus 240. You think Eichel is plus 300. McDavid plus 450. Makar at plus 1,200. And Jack Hughes at plus 2,500.
Yeah, I like it. I think maybe McDavid and Eichel could be swapped. They might be wrong, but I think the first three and the back two, I think those are probably in the right spot, if I had to guess.
So I can confirm you got one right.
Oh, jeez.
You got one right. I'll give you a chance if you think you can figure it out.
Honestly, I don't even know which is the single one to be right. Is the single one Jack Hughes?
Do you want to know the one you got right?
Yeah.
You got Nathan MacKinnon right.
I did get MacKinnon right.
You got MacKinnon right
I felt strong about it, but only one? Okay.
That's the only one you got right.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to... I don't think I can move 4 or 5. I don't think I can move Makar or Hughes into that top 3. I mean, you could make the argument for Makar, but when you have the odds leader on your team, it's hard to have them both there, and defensemen don't win it. I think I would just swap Makar and Hughes, and then McDavid and Eichel.
So swap. Hughes
so
and
then
Makar,
it would be,
and then swap.
Yeah. So then it would be
McDavid,
McKinnon, McDavid, Eichel, Hughes, Makar.
You going with that?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. You got
That's
it.
There. Okay.
Yeah, it was a very, very easy swap, and you were already on the right track. And I will say these aren't the 5 biggest favorites. I just kind of picked a few guys out of the mix. There's obviously other guys.
Okay.
in the mix right now. But I picked 5 that I think would give you a bit of a struggle, and you know what, you got in your second try, so I think I did my job there.
Yeah, easy enough. I could get it with the reshuffle of them, but hard enough that I only got 1 out of 5.
Yeah, and it was a fun way that we can, focus on the Hart Trophy odds a little bit and talk about that, as that's kind of an ongoing theme all season long.
But we aren't like sponsored by any sports gambling anything or anything like that. It's just we just use the odds as a way to gauge what the general population and what people with these extra statistics deem most likely to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're not trying to tell you how to spend your money.
It is that unfortunate time. We are at the end of the episode here. We do hope you all enjoyed this episode of the Stick 'em Up podcast. We are 1 week away from episode 200. We're going to come up with something fun that we want to do for episode 200, make it a little spicy. That sounded really wrong. We also did, over the weekend, we had our current top 50 players in the NHL as of right now list come out. So if you do want to know our thoughts on that, go check it out over there. Again, it is only on YouTube. It is not on any other platform. That is the only platform you can view it on there. So if you want to know our thoughts on all that, make sure to go check it out. It's not a super long one. It's not as long as a regular podcast. It's not as long as the one we did last year. Yeah, it is. And that was on our second take. The first one was actually a little bit less. So you got a longer video of that, us discussing, again, who our top 50 players are. A couple honorable mentions.
We had some comments. People were disagreeing with us.
Oh, I've not looked, so I will go start internet fights.
Yeah, we had a guy come on, and frankly, I think you would probably, not feel too bad about his position, but he was saying that we were doing Scheifele dirty at the time that he put his comment on there. Scheifele was leading the league in points, and
he still is. I'm not going to say Buddy's wrong, actually, so I can't start.
Scheifele was on there. Spoiler alert: Scheifele made the top 50, but was not high enough to their liking. So
I won't disagree. But yeah, if you are interested in that, you can go check that out. We'll be back next week. If you want to talk hockey, go to any of our socials. Braden, one final time before we get out of here, final thoughts.
If you are a recovering Calgary Flames fan, or maybe a Minnesota Wild or St. Louis Blues fan, one of those teams that's right at the bottom at the moment, just know Gavin McKenna looks to be an incredible player. He's already over a point per game in university at Pennsylvania State. He's obviously playing against much better competition than he was last year in the WHL, but being over a point per game at his age in the university league is still pretty nasty. So
it is.
Get excited for him.
Pretty damn good.
And it's supposed to be a good draft outside of him as well. So if you don't win the draft lottery, if you're getting a good pick, you're still, it's the sky doesn't have to fall because of that.
Yeah, I'm not on this camp, but there are some pretty high up scouts that right now, based on what they're seeing from a lot of these prospects, they're not fully convinced on who's going first overall. I don't fully believe that, but
that just
goes to show how good the
top, look them off.
It just goes to show how good the top end of the draft is, and even the overall, the entire first round is pretty.
Yeah, pretty good. Maybe we'll have to do a bit of a deep dive on that after the World Juniors or before the draft or something. I mean, we'll probably be doing a draft ranking before the draft.
Hey, I would love to.
Quite a while away.
I would honestly love to do that. But that is it for this episode. One final time. We hope you all enjoyed, and as always, we will see all of you out on the ice later this week.